Where do these memories come from? When I was young, I was fascinated about the universe. Somehow, I knew I came from the stars. I knew that the universe existed inside of me. Well, I grew up in Newport Beach, California. It's not a place for realizing your true essence. Back then, yoga and meditation were considered to be quite radical. It was like you were a commie. My parents had this Buddha statue and a Kuan Yin statue that I was completely fascinated about. I can't quite put it into words. Somehow, these statues conveyed to me that life is so much grander than what we know. I knew that the universe existed inside of me, yet I didn't know how to tap into it. Somehow, I knew that I'd been meditating for thousands of years. Mind you, not in a human body, but united with the quantum field. This is mankind's natural state of existence. This is where we come from. And when we die, this is where we return. Somehow, I was aware of this. Inside our DNA lies all our memories from the past, present, and future. I know that may seem absurd, yet quantum theory clearly is thinking outside of our three-dimensional box. The following is a lecture I attended in Arizona on May 7, 1987. Many of my questions were answered. It may seem unconventional, which it is, yet the quantum field is totally unconventional. You have to learn to think and act outside of the box. One learns slowly how to rewire ourselves into a state of kindness, love, and compassion. One learns how to become conscious in each and every moment. This is our true nature.
Do you love your mouth?
Yes.
Do you know why you do?
Because I love myself.
But do you know why it is so familiar to you?
No.
Are you prepared for an evenness?
Yes.
It will cause controversy within you. Well, here goes. You have not been on this planet regardless of what limited entities have given unto you in your fantasy of it, and therefore they've responded for 34,000 years. That is a truth. And this mouth directly comes from there. The whole of your cellular memory, you have been unlimited God for 34,000 years. You are likened unto a woman on the day of Yester and unto Sophia entity. Counsel with her. Take your nutrition with her on this day. It will be a great saving grace for you. You brought it here because you loved them. This is the cellular memory of 34,000 years ago. That is why the penis functions differently than others. That is why the heart is different, the breath, because it doesn't understand how the 20th century works at all. Great entity. We shall do much together, you and I. So be it. You counsel with this man. He is a great companion of yours.
Mindfulness. This is the dictionary definition of mindfulness. The quality, the state of being conscious or aware of something. Their mindfulness of the wider cinematic tradition a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and body sensations, used as a therapeutic technique. I remember in the early 2000s I went to Phoenix, Arizona for a business trip. Back then, I was working for Charles Schwab. There were probably around a couple of thousand employees attending the conference. One day of the conference, they had some classes that you could choose to attend. One of them was mindfulness. To be honest, at that time, I heard of this Buddhist term, yet I never understood its meaning. It was a great lecture. I was amazed that Charles Schwab even would present this topic. Since then, mindfulness has hit the mainstream. It's kind of a buzzword right now. You see it on commercials on TV for selling products. But what is mindfulness? According to the dictionary definition, a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and body sensations, used as a therapeutic technique. Let's break this down a little. A mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment. How do you focus your awareness on the present moment? What is the present moment? Does mankind ever truly connect to the present moment? Just think, in the quantum field, it is beyond time and space. Past, present, and future are one. The Buddhists have been studying mindfulness for thousands of years. They have been known to tap into the quantum field for thousands of years. Mind you, they didn't call it the quantum field. They might have called it enlightenment or a state of nirvana. I remember about 15 years ago, I read this incredible Buddhist book called Crystal Clear. This book talked about the various stages of enlightenment. Now, this could be a rumor. I can't prove it, but the Buddhist has some doubts to release this book to the public. This was utmost sacred knowledge. They decided to release it because the techniques were so simple. They involved concentrating on your breath. Mind you, this is an ancient technique used in meditating practices all around the world. But have we ever pondered what is the power behind the breath that is keeping you and the universe alive? The universe is conscious. I'm sure you think I'm a broken record when I say you are the universe. You just don't know it. But that's the truth. When a person begins to learn how to meditate on his breath, transformation starts to occur in the mind, body, and soul connection. One is tapping into the quantum field. Mindfulness is a state of bringing that inner awareness into the present state of mind. It's very subtle in the beginning. Mind you, your circuits are slowly being rewired. I often say that in the beginning, you meditate on God. At some point in time, God begins to meditate on you. You see, the more attention you put on something, the more attention is focused back to you. Mindfulness is a state of being in the quantum field, moment by moment. There are probably an infinite amount of stages of mindfulness. Let's dive deeper into this definition. A mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and body sensations, used as a therapeutic technique. Meditation is a stepping stone to calmly acknowledge and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and body sensations. This is where we can truly rewire the body and mind. When one is directly connected to the quantum field, one's emotions are of bliss, love, kindness, compassion, and gratitude, there are probably an infinite amount of positive emotions which we aren't even aware of. Just think, in this state, thousands of positive chemicals are being released into your body. Moment by moment in meditation, one has the opportunity to rewire our mind-body connections to be in harmony with the quantum field. Every person on Earth is hardwired for this. In order for this to happen, we must be aware. This is what the whole book is about. Our subconsciousness is 95% running the show. No wonder we have so many problems in the world today. Mindfulness is a way out of this solution. You could say a being like the Christ or Buddha learned how to be in perfect harmony with the quantum field. Yes, they didn't call it that back then. They used different terminology. The essence is the same. This is just the tip of the iceberg on this discussion. Ponder this over. Asana. Postures. The meditation posture should be steady and comfortable. Yoga Sutras. Asana is a posture that one can hold for a period of time. Staying relaxed, steady, comfortable, and motionless. The Yoga Sutra does not list any specific asana. Ayana translates verse 147 of Yoga Sutra as asanas are preferred over time by relaxation of effort with a meditation on the infinite. This combination and practice stops the quivering of the body. Any posture that causes pain or restlessness is not a yogic posture. Secondary text that discusses Patanjali's sutra states that one requirement of correct posture for sitting meditation is to keep chest, neck, and head erect. Proper spinal posture. According to Patanjali in the second book of Yoga Sutras, yoga is helping us to do the following. Restraining us from harmful behavior, developing beneficial behavior, developing physical posture, creating conscious breathing techniques, develop steady concentration. Top 10 benefits of Hatha Yoga. Builds flexibility and mobility, builds strength and core stability, develops balance and proportion, helps to maintain healthy joints, stimulates the immune system, may reduce inflammation and inflammatory disease, improve sleep quality, helps develop discipline and self-control. Many people think that Hatha Yoga is the only thing to practice in the West. I've been on this path for over 49 years. I first learned yoga in high school. Back then, you were a commie if you thought outside of the box. Today, yoga is mainstream. There are many different forms of yoga. Unfortunately, many of them only focus on the physical. This is only a speck of dust compared to the vast universe of yoga. The majority of yoga classes today lack integrity. They only emphasize the physical postures. That is only one branch on the tree of life. The student never understands the complete picture. They were never allowed to know that the postures are only a small piece of the pie. Most centers never discuss the moral principles of the yogic path. This path is overcoming all the obstacles that keep us from recognizing our true nature. The path of yoga, if used correctly, can help eliminate mental suffering at all levels. I was trained to be in a state of meditation when I practiced yoga. For 49 years, I've been trying to be consciously aware of the power behind my breath. The entire universe is keeping you alive. For me, practicing the posture is sacred and holy. Note, this is a mindset that should be developed over time. Never strain or push yourself deeper into a position. Listen to your body. Your body is intelligent. Never look at another person and judge them or judge yourself. Each one of us has our own different bodies. This is not a competition. Don't show off. You bring the world and the ego into your daily practice. Just let it go. When I do a posture, I close my eyes and focus on my breath. Just relax. Your body and mind will love it. It doesn't matter if you've mastered this posture or not. There are infinite levels of any posture. The goal is to harmonize the mind, body, and soul. Remember that yogis knew that a strong and flexible body helps one to meditate easier. When a body is stiff and sick, it's hard to concentrate. One begins to take responsibility for your mind, body, and soul. Your human body is the most precious temple on earth. When you have that understanding, you begin to treasure every moment on earth. Yoga is a way to harmonize yourself with the universe. At least that's what it's intended for. Today, we have a 3-legged stool with 2 legs chopped off. You can no longer sit on the chair. Maybe you should ask yourself the question, how far do I want to go with this practice? If it's only for your physical body, nothing more, then just carry on. Do your practice. The ancient yogis spent each and every moment trying to be in contact with the power of the breath. This is the ultimate goal. One who does this truly becomes a human being. Hu means divine. Man equals mind. A human being is a divine mind. Today, most of us are a man, which equals mind. Look at the condition of man today. Many people start learning to meditate and give up when they see how powerful the mind is. The Yoga Sutras give tricks to the trade. They provide guidance in all areas of your life. They are a blueprint for discovering your true nature.
Where is the temple of God? Man searches near and far. We think the true temple exists outside of ourselves. Billions of dollars have been spent over time building external places of worship. Yes, they are great ways for communities to come together. But where does God reside? God resides everywhere. God resides in this universe and beyond. There's not a single space in the universe where God does not exist. Yet man, at times, is looking in the wrong place. The great masters of old said that the great temple lies in your heart. Is that a paradox? Man has spent his entire life searching for God, and the whole time the answer lies within. I see some irony in this picture, yet we have been told many different stories. Some of them were true, and some of them made up. Some of them were meant to control you and make you feel bad. But the journey of the heart begins when you realize that God exists inside of you. This is your true place of worship. Now, I'm not saying change your religion. God, in essence, is no religion. Keep your religion. You will see the true beauty of your religion. When you discover God within, you will see the unity of all religions. There is a thread of love tying us all together. This is our true state. God wants us to discover our true nature. When mankind does this, peace will be on earth. War is obsolete. The universe does not fight itself. God does not fight itself. Only man fights. This is an old way of thinking. Humanity can change. The temple of God lies inside. You can discover it. Moment by moment, your awareness can be on God. Ponder this over. A great awakening is taking place. You have a piece of this puzzle. For over 5,000 years, the Indians have discovered flower petal-shaped vortexes of energy lying across 7 different areas on our spinal column. These chakras are definitely directly connected to the endocrine system of glands. These chakras are responsible for distributing energy through the body. When there is a blockage, disease will occur. In our next chapter, we will talk about the Chinese discovery of meridians. I won't go through the specifics of each chakra. Here's a general overview of each one. The following information came from color-meanings.com. The root chakra. The Sanskrit word for this chakra is Muladhara chakra. Mud means root. The chakra colors associated with the root chakra is red. The root chakra defines our relationships to Earth. It impacts our vitality, passion, and survival instincts. The red chakra colors are also indicative of our need for logic and order, physical strength, and sexuality, as well as the fight or flight response when faced with danger. The sense of smell in the human body is connected to the root chakra. The gland to which the root chakra is affected is the gonads. The sacred chakra. The chakra colors associated with the sacral chakra is orange. This chakra relates to the water element in the human body. The chakra colors are orange, which impacts sexuality, reproductive function, joy, desire, and even creativity, compassion for others. The sense of taste is associated with the sacral chakra. Glands and organs impacted by this chakra include the lymphatic system, female reproductive organs, large intestine, pelvis, and bladder. The solar plexus chakra. The Sanskrit words for this chakra is Manipura chakra, which literally translates to city of jewels. Thus, the solar plexus chakra is the personal power chakra that is responsible for one's personal and professional success. The chakra colors, yellow, of this energy vortexes are associated with fire, energy, change, etc. This element of fire, when balanced and harmonious, allows one to feel more confident, cheerful, and energetic, along with the right amount of respect for self and others. Our sense of sight is associated with the solar plexus chakra. The glands or organs associated with the solar plexus chakra are the adrenal glands. The heart chakra. Anahata chakra, or the heart chakra, is associated with the chakra colors green. This chakra influences our relationships and has the air element. A weak heart chakra is responsible for sabotaging the relationships through distress, anger, and envy, etc. The sense of touch is impacted by the heart chakra, and the glands connected to it are the thymus and lymph. The throat chakra. The Vishuddha chakra refers to our true voice. As the name suggests, the throat chakra, with its chakra colors blue, is associated with the ability to communicate, listen, etc. The glands to which the throat chakra is attached are the esophagus, ears, throat, thyroid, jaws, teeth, and neck vertebrae. The etheric element of the throat chakra, when balanced, allows an individual to have pleasant voice, artistic abilities, expressive ways, and also ability to be in a higher place spiritually. The individuals with a balanced throat chakra are able to meditate well and use their energy efficiently and artistically. The third eye chakra, the Anja chakra, literally translates to center of knowing or monitoring. This chakra is associated with the chakra colors indigo and is connected to the pineal or pituitary gland. Those with a well-balanced brow chakra can have telepathic abilities, charismatic personality, and they often do not have any fear of death. The element of electricity or telepathy, along with the chakra colors of indigo, are associated with our sense of thought. The crown chakra. This chakra is known as Sahasrara chakra in Sanskrit and is associated with the chakra colors of violet or purple. The crown chakra is associated with the pituitary gland, nervous system, and the brain and head region with its elements of light. In its balanced state, this chakra can render individuals the ability to perform miracles, transcend the laws of nature, and have a heightened awareness of death and immortality. Now, according to the great masters and mystics, the journey begins at the base of the spine. There lies the Ida and the Pingala nerve. Imagine a column called the Sushumna, which is not physical, which goes from the bottom of the spine. Here's a definition of the Sushumna from Wikipedia. Sushumna, very gracious, kind, runs along the spinal cord in the center through the 7 chakras. Under the correct conditions, the energy of Kundalini is said to uncoil and enter Sushumna through the Brahma Dwara or Gate of Brahma at the base of the spine. The Shiva Chamanta Treaty on Yoga states, for example, that out of 350,000 nadis, 14 are particularly important, and among them, the 3 just mentioned are the 3 most vital. It seems to me that God hardwired each individual human being, to help discover his true nature. The journey begins at the base of the root chakra. Here, the consciousness of me, and me reside. The human being is existing in a state of survival mode. The goal in life is to master each chakra and ultimately arrive at the crown chakra and enter its doors. At this state, one will realize that I am the universe. We are all one. This is our true state of existence. We are all one huge, gigantic family. Each one is responsible for discovering our true nature. The world would be in a better place if we all did this. Ponder this over. So you think that you are hardwired to find God? Maybe in time. Maybe it's time to use your inner key to start the engine. Let's continue how a human being is hardwired to find God. Many scientists think that a part of our DNA is multidimensional and quantum. We contain the blueprint of God inside of us. From this blueprint, a human being is created. We are created in the image of God. When I was young, I loved to study the great wisdom from India. I still do. The Indians have a theory that everything we do and say is recorded into an energy frequency. This energy frequency can be read in some part of time in the future. There are people who will fine-tune themselves to be able to read the Akashic records from another person. Now recently, many people think that in our DNA, we have a multi-dimensional DNA which contains the blueprint of God. Now imagine in this blueprint contains the entire essence of the universe and the essence of your soul's journey in the universe. You are eternal. You can never die. Your body will. Many people are discovering this concept and learning how to mine the Akashic record for themselves. Can you imagine how incredible that would be? It means that you can stop any diseases coming your way. You would be in tune with God and listen to the wisdom that lies within. You could bring back all the positive attributes you have learned on your magnificent journeys in life. A person could tap into the future and bring back wisdom such as inventions that would help our fellow man. From that state, it would be easy to go from me to we. If we could consciously tap into the oneness and blueprint of the universe. As you can see, the car is sitting in the garage gathering dust. The car is meant to be driven on the freeway of life. Moment by moment, we can drive our car and gather a greater understanding of why we are alive. We spend most of our lives in a survival mode. We spend most of our times living by our habits and subconscious. Imagine we're literally hardwired to discover our true essence. Yet, so many humans are oblivious to this fact. You see, we have free will and free choice. The entire universe lives by this law. At times I think, well, maybe human beings shouldn't have free choice and we would come into this world and never forget our true nature. Peace would always prevail on earth. Anger and war would not exist. Heaven would be on earth. Yet, life is a grand adventure. We come into this world to discover our true nature and to help transform this world from darkness to light. It's a cosmic game. This isn't the first time this game has been played. For time immemorial, this game has been played through the universe and countless other universes. The entire universe is watching us and cheering for us. They are rooting us on. We have incredible coaches that help and assist us. Yet, they can't take a single step for us. You see, each of us has to play the game without any steps taken by another being. These are exciting times. We as humanity is going from me to we for thousands of years because of thinking. It's all about me. We have fought countless wars. We're living in an era where this is changing right before our eyes. Ponder this over. You are hardwired to discover God. you contain within your DNA the blueprint of God. We are all custom designed by God. Yesterday, I heard an interesting interview with Bruce Lipton. He is a scientist and has a fascinating story to tell. He wasn't interested in God, religion, or anything spiritual. His passion was science and biology. He was studying the structure of cells. One day, he discovered that our cells have antennas embedded on the surface of the cells. We have trillions of cells, and each cell had this antenna. He thought to himself, mind you, I'm paraphrasing what he said. He asked himself, what are these antennas for? For what purpose do we have for them? In the real world, he thought of a TV set. You have an antenna which receives signals from a broadcast. You can change the channel and a different TV program will appear on the screen. At this point, it gets extremely interesting. Somehow, he has an epiphany that our awareness and consciousness is being broadcast from God or the quantum field. Each one of us has unique signatures. He realized that the body will die, yet our essence is always the same. We can never die. Our essence is eternal. To his amazement, he discovered that God exists inside of us. The treasures exist inside. We are hardwired to discover the universe within. Imagine how this took place within 5 minutes. From that point on, his goal was to discover his true nature. The clues are there in plain sight. Bruce then, as a scientist, began to use the lab within to discover his true nature. In the interview, Bruce said that some Jesuits said that, give me a child for 7 years, and I will tell you how the child will grow up. The first 7 years, a child will pick up the good, bad, and ugly. A child's brain is theta, which everything external gets sucked in from 0 to 7 years old. This goes directly into our subconscious. Now, imagine that we live our lives 98% of the time from our subconscious. Our subconscious drives our life. This means that our lives are being driven from our early childhood. While pursuing ourselves and discovering our true nature, we live most of our lives driven by our subconscious. We react like leaves blowing in the wind. Our body is so entwined with our subconscious that we react automatically without being aware. Imagine our subconscious is like a hard drive. It has tons of data stored from the ages of 0 to 7. When an event occurs, the subconscious will go instantly to the hard drive and it knows how to react. Notice, we are oblivious to what's going on. This is mankind to a T. We have been fighting for so long. The world is on fire. People flame each other on Facebook. We have a president who tweets whatever comes to his mind. Humanity is on the verge of a major breakthrough. The signs that we were built to discover are all around us. We have all the instruments inside of us to discover our true nature. We are about to go from me to we, which is the title of this book. Imagine every single person on earth is hardwired to discover we all came from the same place. We are all family, regardless of race, color, or creed. Our true nature is kindness. Our true nature is love and compassion. We are all a spark of the divine. We are the universe. We just don't know it. These are exciting times. You hold a piece of the puzzle of life inside of you. You can change and discover your true nature. Millions of people are waking up. Recently, science and religion are really talking about the same thing. Discoveries that Bruce saw are major scientific breakthroughs for all of us. Bruce saw in a flash of light that we are being broadcasted from the quantum field. We have our name that God knows and the universe knows. Every human life is special. With our free choice and free will, we can, moment by moment, be on a conscious journey to discover our true essence. Ponder this over.
Endocrine system. The following information came from Wikipedia. The endocrine system is a chemical messenger system comprising feedback loops of hormones released by internal glands of our organism directly into the circulatory system, regulating distant target organs. A hormone is any of a class of signaling molecules produced by glands in multicellular organisms that are transported by the circular system to target distant organs to regulate physiology and behavior. Hormones have diverse chemical structures, mainly of three classes: echosteroids, steroids, and amino acid protein derivatives, amines, peptides, and proteins. The gland that secretes hormones comprise the endocrine systems. Hormones are used to communicate between organs and tissues for psychological regulation and behavior activities such as digestion, metabolism, respiration, tissue function, sensory perception, sleep, excretion, lactation, stress, growth and development, movement, reproduction, and mood. Hormones affect distant cells by binding to specific receptor proteins in the target cell, resulting in change in cell function. This may lead to cell-type specific responses that include rapid changes to the activity of existing proteins or slower changes in the expression of target genes. Amino acid hormones, amines, and peptides or protein hormones are water-soluble and act on the surface of target cells via signal transduction pathways. Steroid hormones, being lipid-soluble, move through the plasma membranes of target cells to act within their nuclei. Endocrine glands are glands of the endocrine system that secrete their products' hormones directly into interstitial spaces and then absorbed into blood rather than through a duct. The major glands of the endocrine system include the pineal gland, pituitary gland, pancreas, ovaries, testes, thyroid gland, and parathyroid gland, hypothalamus, and adrenal glands. The hypothalamus and pituitary glands are neuroendocrine organs. The hypothalamus gland. The hypothalamus is a portion of the brain that contains a number of small nuclei with a variety of functions. One of the most important functions of the hypothalamus is to link the nervous system into the endocrine system via the pituitary gland. The hypothalamus is located below the thalamus and is part of the limbic system. In the terminology of neuroanatomy, it forms the ventral part of the diencephalon. All vertebrate brains contain a hypothalamus. In humans, it is the size of an almond. The hypothalamus is responsible for the regulation of certain metabolic processes and other activities of the autonomic nervous system. It synthesizes and secretes certain neuromorphines called releasing hormones or hypothalamic hormones, and those in turn stimulate or inhibit the secretion of hormones from the pituitary gland. The hypothalamus controls body temperature, hunger, important aspects of parenting and attachment behaviors, thirst, fatigue, sleep, and circadian rhythms. Pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is a pea-sized gland that sits in protective bony enclosure called the cilia turcica, Turkish chair saddle. It is comprised of 3 lobes, the anterior, intermediate, and posterior lobes. In many animals, these lobes are distinct. However, in humans, the intermediate lobe is but a few cell layers thick and indistinct. As a result, it is often considered as part of the anterior pituitary. In all animals, the fleshy, glandular, anterior pituitary is distinct from the neural composition of the posterior pituitary. Pineal gland. The pineal gland is a small endocrine gland in the brain of most vertebrates. The pineal gland produces melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone which modulates sleep patterns in both circadian and seasonal cycles. The shape of the gland resembles a pine cone from which it derives its name. The pineal gland is located in the epithelial thalamus near the center of the brain, between the 2 hemispheres tucked in a groove where the 2 valves of the thalamus join. The pineal gland is one of the neuroendocrine secretory circumventricular organs that are not part of the blood-brain barrier. Nearly all vertebrate species possess a pineal gland. The results of various scientific research in evolution biology, comparative neuroanatomy, and neurophysiology has explained the phylogeny of the pineal gland in different vertebrate species. From the point of view of biological evolution, the pineal gland represents a kind of atrophied photoreceptor. In the epithalamus of some species of amphibians and reptiles is linked to a light-sensitive organ, also known as the partial eye, which is also called the pineal eye or third eye. René Descartes believed the human pineal gland to be the principal seat of the soul. Academic philosophy among his contemporaries considered the pineal gland as a neuroanatomical structure without special metaphysical qualities. Science studied it as one of the major endocrine glands among many. 17th century philosopher and scientist René Descartes was highly interested in anatomy and physiology. He discussed the pineal gland both in his first book, The Tristes of Man, written before 1637, and his last book, The Passions of the Soul, and he regarded it as the principal seat of the soul and the place in which our thoughts are formed. In The Tristes of Man, Descartes described conceptual models of man, namely creatures created by God, which consist of 2 ingredients, a body and a soul. In the Passions, Descartes split man into a body and a soul, and emphasized that the soul is joined to the whole body by a certain very small gland situated in the middle of the brain substance and suspended above the passage through which the spirits in the brain anterior cavities communicate with those in its posterior cavities. In the late 19th century, Madame Blavatsky, who founded Theosophy, identified the pineal gland with the Hindu concept of the third eye, or the Anja chakra.
This association is still popular today. Rick Strassman, an author and clinical associate professor of psychiatry at the University of New Mexico School of Medicine, has theorized that the human pineal gland is capable of producing the hallucinogenic drug DMT under certain circumstances. In 2013, he and researchers first reported DMT in the pineal gland of rodents. Thyroid gland. The thyroid gland, or simply the thyroid, is an endocrine gland in the neck consisting of two lobes connected by an isthmus. It is found at the front of the neck, below the Adam's apple. The thyroid gland secretes three hormones, namely the two thyroid hormones, thyroxine and tridothyronine, and calcitonin. The thyroid hormone primarily influences the metabolic rate and protein synthesis, but they also have many other effects, including effects on development. Calcitonin plays a role in calcium homeostasis. The adrenal glands, also known as supraadrenal glands, are endocrine glands that produce a variety of hormones, including adrenaline and the steroids aldosterone and cortisol. They are found above the kidneys. Each gland has an outer cortex which produces steroid hormones and an inner medulla. Pancreas. The pancreas is an organ of the digestive system and endocrine system of vertebrates. In humans, it is located in the abdomen behind the stomach. The pancreas is a gland having both an endocrine and a digestive excorian function. As an endocrine gland, it functions mostly to regulate blood sugar levels, secreting the hormones insulin, glucagon, somatostatin, and pancreatic polypeptides. As a part of the digestive system, it secretes pancreatic juice into the duodenum through the pancreatic duct. This juice contains bicarbonate, which neutralizes acid entering the duodenum from the stomach, and digestive enzymes, which breaks down carbohydrates, proteins, and fats and entering the duodenum from the stomach. Ovaries. The ovary is an organ found in the female reproductive system that produces an ovum. When released, this travels down the fallopian tube into the uterus, where it becomes fertilized by our sperm. There is an ovary, from Latin ovum, meaning egg, nut, found on the left and right side of the body. The ovaries also secrete hormones that play in the menstrual cycle and fertility. The ovary progress through many stages, beginning in the prenatal period through menopause. It is an endocrine gland because of the various hormones that it secretes. Testes. Testes, or testicle, or testis, is the male reproductive gland or gonad in all animals, including humans. It is homologous to the female ovary. The function of the testes are to produce both sperm and androgens, primarily testosterone. Testosterone released is controlled by the anterior pituitary luteinizing hormone, whereas sperm production is controlled by the anterior pituitary follicle stimulating hormone and gonad, testosterone. Pranayama. Alternate nostril breathing. One form of pranayama. Pranayama is the control of the breath, from the Sanskrit prana, breath, and amana, restraint. After a desired posture has been achieved, the verses recommend pranayama, the practice of consciously regulating the breath inhalation, the full pause, exhalation, and the empty pause. This is done in several ways, such as by inhaling and then suspending exhalation for a period, exhaling and then suspending inhalation for a period, by slowing the inhalation and exhalation, or by consciously changing the timing and length of the breath, deep, short breathing. Most Westerners don't breathe properly. Just think, the moment we take our first breath to the moment we take our last breath, there is a power that is keeping us alive. Yet the majority of mankind is not aware of it. In fact, we are completely oblivious to it. Due to the stress in our life, we have forgotten how to breathe properly. If you want to observe incredible breathing, watch a newborn. They naturally practice deep or diaphragmatic breathing by using the diaphragm, a muscle under the lungs, to pull air into the lungs. Visually, you see the belly expand and chest rise as they inhale through the nose and into the lungs. As they exhale, the belly contracts. For many people, this kind of breathing is no longer instinctive. Instead, many of us have become shallow chest or thoracic breathers, inhaling through our mouths, holding our breath, and taking in less air. Over time, our breathing patterns have shifted as a reaction to environmental stressors like temperature, pollution, noise, and other kinds of anxiety. Cultural expectations, including the desire to have a flat stomach, encourage holding our breath and sucking in our stomachs, further tighten our muscles. When we breathe in a shallow way, the body remains in a cyclical state of stress. Our stress causing shallow breathing, and our shallow breathing causing stress. This sets off the sympathetic nervous system, the branch of the autonomic nervous system that primes us for activity and response. Shallow breathing doesn't just make stress a response. It makes stress a habit our bodies and therefore our minds are locked into, says John Lockvich, an apprentice and integrative breathwork facilitator in Brooklyn, New York. My personal advice before one begins this practice is to, before you begin, to make sure you are breathing properly. If you're still breathing through your chest or your mouth, spend 3 weeks learning how to breathe properly. I would advise anyone to spend 3 weeks meditating and focusing on their breath. Do this from this moment on. This is the key to life. Without this, your practice won't take you far. There is a power that is keeping you alive. Behind your breath lies the keys to life. So what does this breathing exercises do? There are 72,000 nadis, or energy channels, in the human body. The following is a passage from Sadhguru. Sadhguru, within the spine, if you know its physical construction, you will know there are 2 holes on either side of the spine, which are like conduit pipes for all the nerves to pass. This is the Ida and the Pingala, the left and right channels. In the Prana Mashkoshka, or the energy body, there are 72,000 nadis. The 72,000 nadis spring from three basic nadis, the left, the right, and the central, the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. The word nadi does not mean nerve. Nadis are pathways or channels of prana in the system. These 72,000 nadis don't have a physical manifestation. In this sense, if you cut your body and look in, you will not find them. But as you become more aware, you will notice the energy is not moving at random. It is moving in established pathways. There are 72,000 different ways in which the energy or prana moves. The Pingala is the right or masculine energy channel. The Ida is the left or feminine energy channel. Starting from the left nostril, there are 36,000 nadis or energy channels. Starting from the right nostril, there are 36,000 nadis or energy channels. Pranayama is a breathing exercise that cleanses the Ida and the Pingala. This exercise will help balance the mind and body. When the breath gets calm, the mind and body will get calm. One begins to enter into a state of calmness and being in harmony with the mind, body, and soul connection. How to do alternate nostril breathing. Sit in a comfortable position with the spine long and the hips relaxed. Release any tension from your jaw. Close your eyes. Place your left hand on your left knee with the palm face upward, or in the chin mudra by pressing the index finger and thumb together. Place the tip of the index finger and middle finger of the right hand in between the eyebrows with the ring finger and little fingers on the left nostril, and the thumb on the right nostril. Use the ring finger and little finger to open and close the left nostril, and use the thumb for the right nostril. On an exhalation, close the right nostril with your thumb and breathe out through the left nostril. Breathe in through the left nostril and then close with the ring finger. Release the thumb on the right nostril and breathe out through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close with the thumb. Release the ring finger from the left side and exhale through the left nostril. These two full breaths are called one round of alternate nostril breath. Perform 5 to 9 rounds of this alternating breath between the nostrils. Remember to always inhale through the same nostril you just exhaled through. There are many variations of this technique. Some hold their breath between breaths. Mind you should never use force. Breathe naturally. Over time, the breath will be sweet and calm.
Breath. It's kind of sad. The majority of mankind takes the breath for granted. Yes, we breathe in and breathe out. That's so common to us. We do this in each and every moment. What could be more common? We all breathe. Yet behind our breath is a power that keeps the entire universe alive. You are the universe. You just don't know. The power behind your breath is keeping you alive. You have the potential to connect to this source. In essence, this is your true nature. Many of the great masters taught this. They taught to meditate upon your breath. It takes baby steps. At first, you may not seem to feel or see anything. Have patience. The mind is like a tuning fork. It takes time to tune in to the frequencies of life. This frequency is pure love. Day by day, simply follow your breath. Year by year, simply follow your breath. Decade by decade, simply follow your breath. Your breath will set you free. Your breath will reveal your true nature while you are alive. I know it sounds so simple. It is. Yet we make life so complicated. The truth can be there all the time. Yet we are trained to look outside of ourselves. The jewel has always been hidden under our pillow. This is where God hides, inside of you. This is the greatest hide-and-seek game. Ponder the soul. You can solve this puzzle.
Breathing through your mouth. I was in India many moons ago, over 47 years. I remember hearing people talk about the various kinds of breaths. In our Vedic lore, breathing through your mouth is the kiss of death. Our breath is a complicated system. Scientists are just beginning to study the effects of breathing. They have found out when a person starts to breathe through the mouth, the fight or flight syndrome takes over. What does that mean? It means your body is being flooded with over 1,500 different chemicals. Many of these in a short term is beneficial. Yet, for many Americans, the faucet can't be shut off. Reinforce this situation by improper breathing. In the East, this has been known for thousands of years. This is why the foundation for so many meditation practices is the breath. They understand the practical mechanics of breathing through the nose. There is life force within that is keeping you and the universe alive. Our Western day understanding for the general public is lacking. I say common sense is uncommon because our lifestyles don't reflect it. We are totally off balance. No wonder we have all our ailments today. Ponder this over. Fine-tune your radio station. You're listening to an old station. This station is reinforcing all your bad habits. There's a signal from God and the universe that is playing. Listen to KGOD. This signal is broadcasted from within. It is clear and constant. You just have to tune your mind to this signal. In each and every breath you take, fine-tune your inner radio to this signal. All the great masters have said that the kingdom of heaven lies within. This is probably the most practical thing you can do for yourself. What is keeping you alive? The more you concentrate on this signal, the more powerful and clear it will be. This is your true nature. This signal is like a magnet. It draws kindness, love, and compassion to you. It's like taking a shower of love. This love fills your entire being and slowly washes away all the negativity. This radio station is live. It has been broadcasting for eternity. When you are driving and talking on your cell phone, you aren't paying attention to life. What is so important? What is so important externally that you have forgotten your true nature? Why do you insist that the external world is the only world? For now, you might say, because that's all there is. Well, someday you will die, and it will totally disappear in an instant. This radio station will make you laugh at life. It will bring you to a place where anger and hate will not govern you. Kindness and compassion will be there. I'm not saying you won't ever get angry again. I'm saying that with conscious effort, you can use water to put out the anger in your life. Your mind is looking externally to fix your inner world. Mankind has been running in circles for thousands of years. Look at the political landscape in America today. Anger and chaos rules the land. Fine-tune your radio station. You are a piece of the puzzle. Pratyahara. Pratyahara is a combination of two Sanskrit words. Prati, the prefix against or contra, and ahara, brings near, fetch. Pratyahara is drawing one's awareness. It is the process of retracting a sensory experience from external objects. It is not a step. It is a step of self-extraction and abstraction. Pratyahara is not consciously closing one's eyes to the sensory world. It is consciously closing one's mind's process to the sensory world. Pratyahara empowers one to stop being controlled by the external world, fetch one's attention to seek self-knowledge, and experience the freedom innate in one's inner world. Pratyahara marks the transition of yoga experience from the first four limbs of Patanjali's Astanga scheme that perfectly external forms to the last three limbs that perfect the yogi's inner static moving from outside to inside, from the outer sphere of the body to the inner sphere of the spirit. I first learned about Pratyahara withdrawal of the external senses in India many moons ago. 49 years ago to be exact. I learned that we have 5 external senses and 5 external senses. Oh, seeker of truth, I have witnessed such a great wonder. A well suspended in the sky from which ambrosia ceaselessly flows. A layman climbs it without any ladder and drinks jugs of that nectar. Gong, conches, and kettle drums ring out without being played by anyone. The deaf hear them and become ecstatic. They lose track of body and mind. Up there is a palace without foundation, which is radiant with light. The blind see it and are so overjoyed they can't stop talking about it. In that place, a person dies, yet continues to live and has strength without eating food. Brahmanan says that only a rare soul can understand his tale. By closing down the external senses, one begins to develop the internal senses. This is the doorway to discover your true nature. A wise man understands this. One begins to cultivate the inner senses. One begins to realize one's true nature. And instead of just being a physical body, one slowly begins to see that you are the universe inside of a human body. One begins to see the harmony in all things. Most people's senses are always external. We think happiness exists outside of ourselves. Therefore, we chase the carrot on the stick. Our happiness is dependent on the external, which always changes. Therefore, our happiness will come and go. That is the nature of things. Everything comes and goes. Just think, you are the universe. You just don't know it. Yet every night, when you go into the deep sleep, you go back to the source. You just aren't aware of it. The more one meditates and consciously withdraws the external senses, one will advance on the journey of life. It's ironic that the human body is wired and has the software for discovering the jewel within. It's been there the entire time since you were born. Yet it is enigmatic and foreign to us. Most humans refuse to even recognize it. Don't go there. I don't want to hear about this. Don't tell me what to do. You're trying to convert me. Look, there's nothing to convert to. This is your true nature. A wise man learns there are infinite levels of withdrawing the external senses. We are always fine-tuning the guitar of life. We can never rest on our laurels. In fact, thinking you have laurels won't take you very far on this journey of life. One must become humble and in harmony with life. The sun in the sky doesn't boast and say, "Worship me. Without me, you wouldn't be alive." The sun in the sky just shines. The more one withdraws the external senses, one becomes to be in harmony with life. The ego must be left behind. There are safety mechanisms set into place. The ego can take you so far, and then it reaches a wall and can't go further. Only a child at heart can enter the kingdom of heaven. Remember, you are the piece of this puzzle. Discover your true nature. Learn how to meditate and withdraw your external senses. Fixity. The definition of fixity is as follows: the state of being unchanging or permanent. When I was young, I would laugh at someone who would concentrate on a candle. Yet today, I have a different story. When one concentrates the mind on a flickering candle, one is training the mind. In fact, indigenous people have been looking at fire for thousands of years. When one fixes the mind on fire, eventually one has a transcendent experience. Fire is a key element in life. Many different cultures meditate on a candle. It's like using training wheels, much like modern-day scientific apparatus used today. They get the snowball rolling down the hill. Once it starts to gather momentum, you no longer need the training wheels. All tools are needed in the self-discovery process. What works for one doesn't work for another. You may have the greatest techniques known to man, yet it may work only for you and not for others. There are many different kinds of fruits on the tree of life. The main thing is to eat the fruit and transform. If you only talk about the fruit, wisdom is not gained. Only by eating the fruit does one gather wisdom. Cultures around the world have discovered different kinds of fruit. Remember, the quantum field has unlimited possibilities. Don't get stuck that your way is the only way. Each person has unique hardware and software installed.
Many moons ago, I read in a magazine something which I haven't forgotten. The magazine was interviewing a scientist. They were talking about the expansion and contraction of the universe. The interviewer said, "So, it's just like breathing?" The scientist said, "Absolutely." As you can see, I never forgot this. This was around 1972. I have been fascinated by the power of breath most of my life. Before I started to learn how to meditate, I knew there was an incredible experience inside. I knew there was a power behind my breath, keeping me alive. Yet I didn't know how to sync with it. It was a total mystery. Most of us just breathe unconsciously. We never think about it or pay attention to it. Unfortunately, we don't experience the direct source inside of us. Whenever I tell people that the most simple technique in meditation is the following: just watch your breath go up and down. Follow your breath. At this point in time, you can see their eyes roll up. Yeah, don't feed me that crap. That's too simple. Yet, it is simple. The truth is so simple and obvious that we overlook it. We expect some complicated technique or only a powerful guru can give it to you. Yet, the truth is simple. The Buddhists have a doctrine called crystal clear. This book was introduced to the West only decades ago. They released this secret doctrine because they knew, unfortunately, Westerners wouldn't believe it. It was all about the breath. Why is it in the East they have studied the breath for thousands of years? They have mapped out the various stages of enlightenment through the breath. Yet in the West, we just roll our eyes. Doesn't that make you ponder for a moment? Have you ever stopped for a moment and pondered what is keeping you alive? Imagine when you are born and you take your first breath, you become alive. Now imagine when you take your last breath, you die. What exactly left your body? Your body is dead. Some incredible life force left your body. Now imagine that day by day, you focus on your breath. In the beginning, it takes time and effort. You meditate on the source. Over time, you begin to realize that the source meditates on you. What once took hours to connect to, now, when you close your eyes, that experience is there. Words cannot describe this experience. Christ said, the kingdom of heaven lies within. Only you can take this advice. Only you can solve this mystery. The entire universe exists inside of you. You just don't know it. When I worked for the observatory in Maui, we had to recalibrate many instruments in order for them to work properly. Does man get recalibrated and isn't aware of it? Is this a new recalibration of man? Is the entire universe watching in suspense? Will there be peace on earth? Is the earth recalibrating for man, discovering his true nature? The journey of life is going on. The rules have changed. The old energy of war is going away. People are fed up. Watch the recalibration of man. We will bring peace to this planet. Greetings. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a mantra called Anima. Anima is a vibration that exists in this world and the multidimensional world. It is the smallest of the small. Supposedly a yogi, when mastering this thing, can shrink himself to the point of being as small as an atom. This is a very powerful mantra, even without acquiring this ability. Just the ability to tap into the multidimensional world is good enough for me. To start, close your eyes. Place your attention on your third eye. Mentally repeat Anima, just like this. Anima, Anima, Anima. When thoughts come, just let them go. Bring your awareness to Anima. This technique is super simple. Now let's practice this together. Close your eyes. Focus on your third eye. Mentally repeat Anima, 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 Anima.
Carry your meditation into your daily life, day by day, year by year. Each and every time you meditate, allow the experience to flow into your daily activities. Meditation isn't only when you sit down. Meditation over time brings you to a point where it is constant. In the beginning, you try to meditate on the source within. Over time, the source begins to meditate on you. No words can describe how beautiful this is. You are not alone. Something is keeping you alive. We have been magnetized in love. This is our true nature.
I once had a grand teacher who said, meditation is perfect concentration upon a perfect point. How elegantly said. Imagine the mind is like a tuning fork. Whatever it touches, it vibrates at that frequency. Have you ever felt that material happiness is finite? Imagine the car you've always dreamed of, a yellow Ferrari. In the beginning, it brings you so much joy. You take all your friends around the block for a spin. Day and night, you are satisfied. One day, you notice that a little dissatisfaction has entered your door. Day by day, your yellow Ferrari becomes a hassle. How many times to the shop? I need an oil change. My brakes need changing. The transmission just went out. Everything material wears out. Material happiness will soon lead to pain. Does this mean we can't enjoy the comforts of life? Do we have to live a life of a hermit? How can we live in this world and live in absolute joy? Meditation brings the individual to the center of the hurricane. The winds of change are blowing, yet perfect calm resides inside. This is your true state. Absolute joy, total bliss. Your mind is vibrating with the word of life.
Greetings. Welcome. Today let's increase our meditation to around 10 minutes. You can do this. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Watch your breath go up and down, up and down. Just let your thoughts come and go. Just follow your breath. Watch your breath. Just relax into this experience. Slowly open your eyes. How does that feel? Remember to try to watch your breath in your day-to-day moments. You are on a path of self-discovery.
In the beginning was the Word, before time and space, before creation, before the void, primordial energy, a primordial Word. This Word cannot be spoken. This Word is, was, and will always be. This Word was God, and this Word is God. All scriptures talk about the Word, yet it is beyond the scriptures. All religions talk about the Word, yet it is beyond religion. Science talk about the Word, but it is beyond science. This Word exists inside of you. What is keeping you alive? When you know this, you will know the answer to this puzzle. Have you ever wondered about the common denominator of all religions? Is there a thread which ties them together? They all believe in some force that is universal, beyond time and space, is, was, and will always be. Some people call it God, generator, operator, and destroyers. The Hindus might say Rama, Vishnu, and Shiva. For the Buddhists, it's Nirvana. For the modern scientist, it's energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Positive, negative, and neutral energy. Is there a common theme? All religions talk about light. If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. In the Gita, Krishna reveals a light more brilliant than a billion suns. Is that metaphorically speaking? What happens when we split open an atom? The Buddhist has scriptures that talk about a great light upon death. Every religion known to man talks about a light. Every religion talks we're talking about the same thing. Is science and religion both talking about the same thing? This word, according to religions, cannot be spoken. According to the Tao beliefs, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. Is there a primordial word or energy that is, was, or will always be? Could this word exist everywhere, beyond time, beyond space, universe, one, verso, word, one word? Could there be a universal frequency that exists everywhere? Before creation, before the war, before anything we can dream of, is there a way to connect ourselves to that experience? What would happen? The Hindus have a saying, Sat Chit Anand. Truth is the consciousness of bliss. When the mind is absorbed in truth, the consciousness is in bliss. Truth is, was, and will always be. If the Word of God can't be spoken and is, was, and always, aren't they talking about the same experience? Christ said, the kingdom of heaven lies within. Buddha talks about the inner kingdom. The Jews talk about the inner kingdom. The Hindus talk about an inner kingdom. The Taoists talk about an inner kingdom. How does one connect to this kingdom? Is the human body wired for this experience? If we are created in the image of our Father, I think He would wire us properly. Human beings, human, divine, man, being. Maybe all religions were talking about the same experience. Since the advent of the nuclear age, man has discovered that everything has a frequency. We are not just matter. Energy vibrates at a frequency. It creates sound. Could it be that all religions are trying to find the sound of God through their chants, mantras, and prayers? Could these sounds act like a tuning fork which can transform man? What would happen to man
that both energy and mass are the same thing? Is there a pure mass which is contained in the whole universe? Is there something that contains inside of you and me? All religions talk about this in abstract ways. Christ talk about manna and the honey of life. The Hindus talked about nectar. Kabir, a famous poet, talks about how one drop of this nectar can make a man totally intoxicated. All wisdom and knowledge exist inside of this nectar. By the grace of God, I have the entire Ganges River flowing inside of me. These experiences are built into the human body. We just need to flip the switch. God is one. Everything goes back to the source. Let's all go back home and transform this world.
Samadhi. Samadhi, Sanskrit, literally means putting together, joining, combining with, union, harmonious, whole, trance. Samadhi is oneness with the subject of meditation. There is no distinction during the eighth limb of yoga between the actor of meditation, the act of meditation, and the subject of meditation. Samadhi is that spiritual state when one's mind is so absorbed in whether it is contemplating or not that the mind loses the sense of its own identity. The thinker, the thought process, and the thought fuse with the subject of thought. There is only oneness, Samadhi. There are many benchmarks that yogis have come up with on this journey of life. Don't get caught up in them. Remember, this is not a competition. This is not a race. Be like the Tao. The Tao is meek, simple, and humble, yet is the power behind all life. You may meditate for 1 trillion years, yet you have just taken your first step. Every step is brand new. You will never know how far you have gone. Common benchmarks are probably, are you kind in each and every moment? Does your mind still get bitten by mosquitoes of unharmonious thoughts? Are you living in me or we consciousness? Are you conscious and aware of each moment of the power that is keeping you alive? Can you smile at any obstacle? Does politics affect your state of mind? Are you trying to fit into society? Can you walk into the shoes of others and have compassion? Do you still want to prove your point? Can you truly listen without thinking, what am I going to say next? These are practical benchmarks you may have in an incredible experience. Yet how you treat others and life itself is the true benchmark of life. Personally, one who brags about his experience goes down a couple of rungs on the ladder of life. That is not to say you can never talk about your experience. If it will help inspire someone, that's a good thing. For example, Brahmanam's poem of the palace in the sky. I heard that in India 48 years ago, and the bell of wisdom is still ringing in my ears. Words can't describe how it affected me back then and today. Samadhi. Samadhi, Sanskrit, literally means putting together, joining, combining with, union, harmonious, whole, trance. Samadhi is oneness with the subject of meditation. There is no distinction during the eighth limb of yoga between the actor of meditation, the act of meditation, and the subject of meditation. Samadhi is that spiritual state when one's mind is so absorbed in whether it is contemplating or not that the mind loses the sense of its own identity. The thinker, the thought process, and the thought fuse with the subject of thought. There is only oneness, Samadhi. There are many benchmarks that yogis have come up with on this journey of life. Don't get caught up in them. Remember, this is not a competition. This is not a race. Be like the Tao. The Tao is meek, simple, and humble, yet is the power behind all life. You may meditate for 1 trillion years, yet you have just taken your first step. Every step is brand new. You will never know how far you have gone. Common benchmarks are probably, are you kind in each and every moment? Does your mind still get bitten by mosquitoes of unharmonious thoughts? Are you living in me or we consciousness? Are you conscious and aware of each moment of the power that is keeping you alive? Can you smile at any obstacle? Does politics affect your state of mind? Are you trying to fit into society? Can you walk into the shoes of others and have compassion? Do you still want to prove your point? Can you truly listen without thinking, what am I going to say next? These are practical benchmarks you may have in an incredible experience. Yet how you treat others and life itself is the true benchmark of life. Personally, one who brags about his experience goes down a couple of rungs on the ladder of life. That is not to say you can never talk about your experience. If it will help inspire someone, that's a good thing. For example, Brahmanam's poem of the palace in the sky. I heard that in India 48 years ago, and the bell of wisdom is still ringing in my ears. Words can't describe how it affected me back then and today. Where would I be without meditation? I really don't want to know. Imagine the entire universe is alive. I would never know that. Imagine never truly knowing you are never alone. When I close my eyes, the light of God would be there, yet I wouldn't see it. I would see only darkness. I would take this precious breath for granted. I would never experience that the Word of God is keeping me alive. Behind each breath, the love of God exists. I would be focusing on my cell phone or on Facebook and be oblivious to God. I would never know that God is my friend and coach. He is on the sidelines watching the game. He will never play for us, but his presence permeates the game. He will never get angry or yell at us. I would never know that if I didn't meditate. Prayer is when you talk to God. Meditation is when God talks to you without any words. I can't imagine how painful that would be to the soul. In each and every action, we are looking for God. Meditation allows us to experience the God within. Before I started to meditate, I felt lost. I didn't know how to find myself. I knew the door existed within, yet I didn't know how to open the door. Fortunately, in this present day, you can open up your door within. Just use your intent and open the door within. Concentrate on your breath. This is the key. Moment by moment, place your mind on your breath. Whatever action you are doing, place your mind on your breath. When you have free time, close your eyes and follow your breath. This is the keys to the kingdom of heaven. All the major meditation traditions say the same. Behind your breath lies the entire universe. You are the sun, moon, and stars. You just don't know it.